Hi, welcome to Data Science One podcast. This is Jason, and today I'm going to talk about the Indeed Web Scraper project for job market trend analysis for data careers in Toronto. So before I begin, let me make a full screen mode and also start the video. Okay, so let's get started. So let me talk a little bit about myself. So I was a former business intelligence analyst at Center for Addiction and Mental Health, and I'm the strong advocate for the machine learning enthusiast. And also I'm the founder of the Data Science One YouTube channel. And these days I'm kicking some side machine learning projects to build my own project portfolio to have entry-level data science career positions. So here is a brief agenda on what we'll be covering today. So let's get started. So this is the Indeed job search results in Toronto on August 26 for 4 different data careers, from data scientist to business intelligence. As you can see that the total number of job search founds were less than thousands. So why should we care about this project? First of all, we want to improve chances of getting an interview. Second, we want to strategize job application submission for efficiency. So the main stakeholder for this project will be the job applicants or candidates, such as myself, and the hiring managers and the job recruiters to basically compare the different job category salaries within the city for different sector as a benchmark comparison. So the main goal of this project is to provide overall data career market insights in Toronto, with the following objective. First, saving time for job application submissions versus the random keyword-based search job submissions, and prioritize and learn top required skills and toolset for your targeted dream job or career. So let's have a brief look at the dataset overview. So the dataset was collected using Indeed web scraping techniques in the library, which contains about 10 variables for the exploratory data analysis. There are about 7 categorical and 3 numerical features or variables, which contains demographic information about the required education level, tools and skill sets, and the salaries and the company's location, etc. And the sample size is the less than 1,000 jobs in total for 4 different job categories. And as you can see on the middle, here is a sample snapshot of how the data set looks like. And there are 3 major challenges of this data set. First, some job posting is actually missing a salary information. Second, on the salary information section, there are some inconsistent format reported. For some salaries are reported in hourly or weekly basis. And finally, there's some duplication error because some of the same job postings are actually reposted over a different time period once the job is expired. So let's have a look at the data wrangling. So here is a data wrangling pipeline for the Indeed job scraper function. First, we're requesting HTML to connect the Indeed job search result as an HTML. Second, we're going to use a beautiful soup library to basically convert the HTML into tree structure Python object. Basically, from here, we're going to build a text cleaner and a tokenizer to parse and capture the word within the job page description as a list on the total jobs that we found. And basically from here, we're going to collect the job page description information. And step 4 will be executing a multi-threading process to basically pass the different URLs and the range of job page numbers. And finally, we're going to construct the data frame, which captures different job demographic information and basically plot the visualization results. So something that I actually want to highlight here is that some informations are actually calculated metrics using a term counter object. So basically, we create a list of terms, and then each time we're actually counting the term appearance divided by a total number of jobs found for each job category, multiplied by 100% to calculate the metrics, such as required education level and etc. So next section is the basically, this is a demo of the sample code from Indeed job scraper function written in Python. And there are three major parts that I want to highlight here. Is the first, on the green section, you can see the input parameter. Basically, we're inputting the CD and the job title to basically collect the range of page job search result for different job categories. And the second section is the term frequency counter. Basically, by creating this counter object, we're basically calculating the number of frequencies that each term has occurred on the job search result. And third, finally, we'll have an output stored as a data frame to basically, and from here, we're going to plot the visualization result. So for example, in this case, we created an education level dictionary to capture from PhD to bachelor level of basically how many times each term actually has occurred on each job posting. And we're going to divide this by a total number of jobs found multiplied by 100 to calculate the education level for different job categories. So now let's have a look at the exploratory data analysis. So first of all, we're going to look at the list of hiring companies. So here is the bar chart showing the list of sample hiring companies. They're looking for a data scientist and data engineer within Toronto. The main thing that I want to highlight here is that most of the companies reside in the sector from retail, finance, insurance, and even the healthcare and the consultancy management firms. So for the hiring companies within the business intelligence and analytic talents in Toronto is also showing a similar trend, except for different companies are looking to fill up these positions. Now let's have a look at the annual salary information for data scientist and the engineer. So for the data engineer, on average, they make about 119,000 per year. And for data scientists, they make about 91,000 per year. So note that the average salary reported here is actually a little bit higher, about 10 to 20 grants, than what's actually reported on the in the dossier usually, because of the few samples actually include senior role positions for data engineer and the data scientists. So moving on, here is the annual salary for data analyst and business intelligence job for different companies. On average, business intelligence make 79,000 per year, and for data analysts, they make about 69,000 per year locally. And moving on, now let's have a look at the skill requirement for data scientists and engineer. So first of all, I want to highlight the top legend representing that there are three of them. So the green dash box represents the top 5 skills, required skills for each job. And the purple legend represents the DevOps platform, and the blue legend represents the cloud platform. So for example, the commonality between the data scientist and then the data engineer is that among the top 5 skills listed, it actually includes Python, SQL, Hadoop, and Spark. But there's a difference between the data scientist and the data engineer is that the companies looking to hire data scientists, they tend to more focus on the candidates' data analytics and the visualization skills, whereas for the data engineer, they're looking to hire people with more experience on the cloud platform and the DevOps tool experience, due to having the fact that to deploy the model into the production pipeline and for the integration of all the application architecture. Next is the skill requirement for the data analyst and the business intelligence job. So again, here is the legend for the top 5 skills, and the yellow actual legend represent the ETL tool. So the commonality between the data analyst and the business intelligence is that the among the top 5 listed skill, it actually includes SQL, Tableau, and Python. But the difference between the data analyst and the business intelligence is that for data analyst, again, they tend to be more focused on the looking at data analytic and the visualization tool experience. Whereas for business intelligence, most of the companies, they tend to look at more on the ETL tool experience, such as Cognos, Microsoft BI Stack, SAP, and etc. So now let's have a look at the required education level for 4 different data careers. So in majority of the cases, except for data scientists, or other 3 professions, are usually their preferred level of qualification is at the bachelor, usually undergrad. But for data scientists, a lot of companies are looking to hire PhD level candidates. This is due to the fact that the emergence of the artificial intelligence and deep learning techniques and application. So there are a lot of companies looking to hire PhD level data scientists who can write the novel algorithm for their company's data products and application instead of using a standard library and packages available in R or Python. So now, in terms of the required education, the major background. So for data scientists and data analysts, there are a lot of people, the candidates are from a mass education background. For data engineer and business intelligence job, a lot of candidates, the preferred the background, education background is from computer science and engineering. So basically, overall here, the take-home message is that the most of the data career, the preferred education background is actually coming from the STEM field, which stands for the science, technology, engineering, and the math. So now here is a summary of our Indeed Job Scraper project. So the main goal is to provide the overall data career market insights in Toronto. And for key insight or result summary, first, most of the sector hiring for machine learning or BI talents are from finance, insurance, retail, and other etc. sectors. In terms of the average annual salary, the first ranked position was the data engineer, and the last ranked position was a data analyst. And in terms of required skill set, the data engineer, the company looking to hire data engineer focus more on the DevOps tool and the cloud experience, whereas for BI job focus more on the ETL tool experience. And finally, in terms of required education level and major, data scientist was the only job with the majority of the preferred qualification level is at the PhD, and most of the data career job preferred major background are from the STEM field. So now moving on to future works and recommendation. So in terms of limitation, the limited number of job advertisement with the salary information. And the second thing was the sample size is actually not at the large scale because the total number of jobs we scraped for the 4 different job categories are less than 1,000 jobs found. So in terms of future work, first, for data sources, we want to consider web scraping other sites such as Monster Job, Glassdoor, LinkedIn Job. And for data collection, to have a comprehensive profile of the current data career market, we can collect information about companies' review comments by former employees, companies' roles and environment ratings by former employee as well. And finally, in terms of machine learning modeling application, we can build sentiment analysis or the LDA topic modeling with the word cloud. And finally, data career salary regression model by different job categories. So in terms of recommendation, first, we want to do a strategic job application submission by understand education requirement before applying any jobs and run required tools by a job based on its length importance. And finally, compare average salary of your targeted companies for different jobs. And second is about data collection. As mentioned before, considering other data sources and collecting more information or the variables. And finally, designing a machine learning model portfolio for different applications, which include salary regression model, sentiment analysis on the review comments, cluster analysis by different job categories. So thank you for listening to my Indeed Web Scraper podcast. So on the next episode, we're going to talk about Boston housing price prediction model with the regression techniques. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys actually enjoyed.